Welcome in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Back in studio here in Birmingham, Alabama, Tuesday, October 7th, 7 a.m. on Jocks. We had a lot to get to today. A couple things that I want to discuss. Best at each position in the SEC, maybe even in college football. Do we know that? Do we have any idea who that is? Power rankings in college football in the SEC. Some folks put theirs out. If we just wanted to tinker with ours, how would they look? And then this question as well, I think we asked a version of this when you were out last week, Greg, is who do we really trust to run the football?
Ooh.
Do we, because the interesting part about this is there's at least one team in the Southeastern Conference that last week when we discussed this, we would not have included. This week, I think we may include them, maybe two, because I think last week some folks were still hung up on the, Bama can't run the ball. And now maybe those people look at it a little bit differently. I know Florida would not have been included last week, and maybe they would be now. If I just asked you on the surface, what SEC teams do you honestly trust, regardless of opponent, venue, whatever it is, to run the football when it counts, when they need it, to win a game, not just situationally late, but just because they would need it in that game?
Yes.
Either to control the other offense or to make their offense go to run the football.
Texas A&M.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Missouri and Texas A&M.
What if John Mateer is playing for Oklahoma?
Doesn't matter. Can't use quarterback run.
Change. Oh, well.
Here's the thing I'll say. This is why that conversation has changed so drastically, because the only teams I really trust, seriously, like all joking aside, like if you got to have it on a run play, let's say it's 3rd and 5 and you have to run the ball. You are not allowed to. You pass, that ball blows up in your quarterback's hands. It's like a Mission Impossible
Love that
setting. This ball will self-destruct. In all seriousness, tell me right now who you would pick that does not have a quarterback option to run the ball.
I don't really count Florida as having a quarterback option. I know it sort of appears that way.
They're
but
not a quarterback
I really
run
don't
team.
think he's that guy.
Not quarterback run team.
But you're asking me teams that I think are capable of running it without the Q run part of it?
Correct. Like assume a mobile quarterback. All right. Remove a mobile quarterback.
What about Tennessee?
Like, because to me, I think Tennessee does involve the quarterback in the run game to an extent. Like, I don't include.
Yeah,
I don't think
they present it, but I don't really look at him as a true run threat, I guess. But yeah,
Fair.
he can kind of break you down when needed.
That's scramble to me. Like Ty Simpson, I would not include in that. Like, I think Ty Simpson runs fine.
Yeah, he can
but
get it
he's
done.
not a quarterback runner. He's not a run first guy. Like
Sure.
he's a keep you honest runner. Like, remove the keep you honest runners.
Yeah, none. Because the teams that we would even be having a conversation about would be maybe Florida,
Missouri, Georgia.
Bo Perbula has that. I mean, he
That's
can
what I'm
can
saying.
break you down.
Oh, you're
I'm
talking
saying
about
the teams that don't. I mean, LSU would be the team. LSU, Florida, are maybe the teams that like don't have any real threat. And Kentucky. Those are the teams that just don't even. You're probably not even really worried about it. That's it.
and Ole Miss with Austin Simmons. If he
But
was,
they'll even run him at times.
I know,
mean,
but he's not that guy. They can do it some, but like that's not who he is.
he's close to like the Ty Simpson category, I think.
Yeah.
That's a great point by you, though, because then that does change the question of just run the ball.
Completely.
Because then now it becomes reliant on other things. So,
And we had a long conversation about this. You ought to bring it up to Brian Kelly this weekend when you're doing their game. We had a long conversation about philosophies in college football. And his viewpoint, you can think it's accurate or inaccurate, but you know what? Call me crazy. I'm going to follow the guy that has won 200 plus games at the college level. Like I'm going to trust his opinion on the matter. He thinks that right now, if you don't have a run threat at quarterback, a really good game running the football is between 130 and 160 yards. We had this is like a legitimate philosophical debate that we had 2 weeks ago. I'm like, so, hey, man, tell me this. Like, what do you want? If we were to look at the perfect plan for you, what does the perfect plan look like in the run game? And he goes, I'm so glad you asked that. Our quarterback is not a run threat, is he? I was like, no, he's not. Could he be? Perhaps. I think he's a little more athletic than he probably thinks he is. And he goes, to us, all these rushing numbers are so inflated. They're so, and just like ours were when Jaden Daniels was our quarterback.
Fair.
Like all these rushing numbers are so inflated because you essentially have two running backs on the field at all times. And a lot of our, quote, run game are extended handoffs, little swing screens to the back, little bubble screens to the slot receiver, little chip screens and little things like that. Like that all goes into our run category, but traditional hand it off, call it and run it. If we run for 130, that's a great game. Like that's fascinating to me.
He's probably right too.
100% it is. What's the difference between a toss sweep in the traditional sense with three blockers out in front and a bubble screen to a three wide receiver set? What's the difference?
As far as what it does for you collectively, not too much.
The strain it puts on the defense.
Yeah, the toss sweep is probably still a little more high percentage in the long run of not ending in a negative play and not ending up in a turnover. Not that, the little bubble screens or whatever turn into turnovers often, but
right.
It's a smidge safer. Other than that, no, I think you're spot on. Like let's look at rushing offenses in college football and go where you're going here, okay?
Okay.
So the teams that aren't maybe overinflated as far as their rushing yards because of Q run.
Yeah.
Navy obviously would be.
They have Q run, I think.
Their own category. Florida State, obviously. We know where they are.
Let's check the tape. Yep, Q run.
Missouri.
Q run.
They have it, and I would say that one's probably the lesser of this evil. Because I do think that the bulk of the work has been done by backs, but it's there. It helps.
Absolutely. But also at the same time, with all due respect to Missouri, I am still in see it to believe it mode with them, considering they have played the 109th ranked strength of schedule at this point.
Well, you are on strength of schedule this year.
I'm on strength of schedule every year.
This year more so than ever.
Because the committee is more so on it this year.
Here's an interesting one. You ready for this one?
I actually like Missouri, but I don't know about their O-line just yet. Not sold.
It has been a little hit and miss at times.
You think?
This year.
I like their backs, though.
Here's a good one. This may be our first true outlier. 4 is Army. We know where they are. 5, Indiana.
There's quarterback run there. Not a ton, but it is there.
He has 102 yards this year.
102 yards is pretty sporty. Yeah. Triple
What week are we in?
Week
going
5?
to 7?
Week
No, we're
7?
going to 7.
How many games did they played?
What time
5.
machine you've gotten in this morning?
They're in 5. They've played 5 games. 20 plus yards a game on the ground by your quarterback is pretty dang good.
They have 2 backs over 340 yards, another back over 220, another back over 200. So I don't think that's relying on it.
Strength of schedule.
That is a separate conversation. Yes.
Also, if I may, one of the best offensive lines I've watched this year.
They're good. They're really good.
So
they may end up on the Joe Moore Award midseason honor roll.
On midseason watch list?
Honor roll. Where
summa cum laude,
where they are honored for playing well, not, hey, maybe you should look at them, or hey, they exist with good statistics.
Oh, I thought you were saying like they're butter because they're honor roll.
That too. Jacksonville State, they have Gavin Winsat, who has 238. That's more than Mendoza. So yeah, that would also be
more than Mendoza. So yes, dual threat.
Old Dominion. I'm going to be honest, I hadn't seen the tape. But I'm going to imagine it has Q run because Aaron told us in our call this week that he is not real impressed with that offensive line. So I'm going to imagine that that's a part of it. Air Force, we know. Utah, yes. JMU, I'm assuming they have Q run.
I haven't seen the tape. Yes, they have Q run for sure. I just hadn't seen the tape, like how they're doing it this year.
Heck yeah, baby. They got Sluka. Forgot about that.
Matty Slukes?
122 yards rushing this year.
Nope, not a dual threat. Only 100.
Also, I'm trying to see the game log there. JMU, 4-1. When does Sluka go hold them hostage? What week?
I already threw.
If they keep winning.
Has he played all 5?
believe so. Oh, no, he did not. He did not play in week 3 against Liberty when they won 31-13.
Uh-oh, keep an eye out.
That works against you a little
It's
bit.
a big week.
That works against you a little bit there.
It's a big week.
That basically says...
the old phantom calf strain to buy me a little more time and leverage.
We will be just fine with Alonzo Barnett, who has come in and replaced you. So that doesn't work anymore. Oregon, how much are they running Dante Moore? I haven't seen a lot designed for him.
That's not him.
And Memphis has it, but I don't feel like they employ it or use it a ton. So now after 11, 12, 13, Michigan 13, Texas State 14, BYU 15. Now we might be getting into the area where it's beginning to balance itself out just a little bit. But I think ultimately we've learned it's a great thought by Brian Kelly that when you see these teams, 267 a game or 300 a game, a lot of that is clouded.
100%.
It's jaded, and it's because of Q run. So it's why I thought it was an interesting question of if you had to go find teams that you trust to say, there's 6 minutes left in this game, we're up 3, we just got the ball on our own 12. Can you get us out of here alive? We're on the road. And I don't know if there's a ton of teams that can do that. Now, some of the teams with Q run, I think, do it a little bit different and have a more trustworthy way in which they do it, like Georgia Tech, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I kind of trust them a little more than I do some of the other teams that we have mentioned.
See, like there's a lot of – I went back and watched them yesterday. It's funny that you bring them up. I don't remember even who they're playing this week, but I'm like, I need to take a peek at Georgia Tech. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. I'm just not there yet. The way I hear people talk about them versus what I'm seeing with Georgia Tech is I don't see it the same way other people are seeing it. I need to know if I'm missing something.
They have Virginia Tech 2:30 on the ACC network.
Am I missing someone with Georgia Tech?
Well,
they're like everyone's favorite team, and I'm like, I don't know. I've watched them.
Context is critical.
I've watched them a couple times. I'm kind of unimpressed in some ways, considering how people are talking about them.
It's like anything else. We jump on board with certain ways that we talk about things, and
like the Colorado game is a tough watch. The Clemson game, frankly, outside of a couple plays here or there, was kind of a tough watch. Like it was.
Are you referencing one part of it or just collectively?
Collectively.
Yeah.
Oh, they're an ACC title contender. Miami will walk the dog.
Okay, but it's the ACC #1. So that's actually not really puffing your chest out that much.
Okay,
but
they are not beating Miami.
You give them a one-off, maybe. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Miami has not shown a ton of flaws just yet, and I haven't watched Saturday's game. I watched Ohio State on the plane ride last night, so I didn't get to. That was my next game in line. I hadn't gotten to it yet, so I'll get to that today.
You're going to like it, especially the first 3 quarters.
It's yeah. I don't know. This is one of those things where sometimes we hear different people saying different things. I haven't heard people really describing them as a playoff team or making a deep playoff run, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of how it goes.
I didn't mean to get off on that tangent.
No.
But you're right. They'd be one of those teams where if I needed 5 on 3rd down, they'd be one I would consider because I do like Haynes King's toughness and competitiveness.
And that's the part of some of those teams that we said have sort of the offset is, Utah, Florida State, even Missouri, like they can still give you the downhill portion of it.
Yeah.
Which is different than some of the other teams that implement the quarterback run that don't necessarily have that. Like Auburn, for example, if you were trying to sell me on them, be a tough sell, but you would say, yeah, you have quarterback run, but like the downhill nature of it, being able to grind yards out, don't really feel like you have that there. So the most surprising might be Ole Miss at 25, honestly.
In rush yardage?
Yes. I just would not have expected that. And I know Lane, quote fingers, Lane runs the ball, always wants to run the ball. But that offensive line is not good, bottom line, plain and simple. They have gotten a little better. They played probably their best game against LSU, but it was still not a great game. I just wouldn't have thought their numbers would be at 206 a game right now. Like Arkansas, you get it because Taylor Green's going to give you probably more than 80 yards a game just by default. So, but I know Trinidad runs the ball a little bit.
I think Trinidad is averaging like 80 yards a game on the ground in the 3 starts he's made.
Yeah, and I know he can get it, and I'm not trying to discount him as a rusher. But yeah, he's averaging 5.32 yards per carry, 266 yards per game. So yeah, I mean, 112 against Tulane, 71 against LSU, 62 against Arkansas.
Yeah, so that's about 80 a game.
Yeah, that's.
I think Ole Miss, they're always going to run the ball by way of smoke and mirrors. They're not going to be a physically imposing team. It's a smoke and mirrors outfit, which, by the way, is highly effective. And they cause and create a lot of hesitation for the defense because of some of the deception. You can lead in, take Daquan Wright, lead him up on a Mike linebacker, or, all of a sudden he's bluffing over the top. So, like, your run game is going to immediately go against a, quote, softened defense because you can't really tee off against Ole Miss. You can't. I mean, they're a really hard team to play against. They kind of play you on your heels the whole time.
So based on Brian Kelly's narrative, have we essentially eliminated everyone?
Well, the quarterback position has gotten so much more mobile. That's just kind of where it is. It's very athletic position right now. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I personally still believe very much in having a pro-style quarterback that can keep you honest. I think that's a smarter way of going about your business because subjecting your quarterback to hits all the time throughout the season is not a winning recipe, in my opinion. But, yeah, I think Brian Kelly's spot on. There's not a team right now that I really trust to go pick up 5 yards on the ground with a traditional pro-style quarterback. Not.
That's kind of where we are in today's college football. Tell our listeners about Canty.
Well, Canty can fix it. Cantey can fix it. That's the website. Go and check out the foundation specialists that are new to the area, but they have been long utilizing their techniques all throughout the Southeast. They were up in the Carolinas, been doing great work up there for quite a long time. If you're thinking about some foundation repair, crawl space, basement, concrete solutions, Canty Foundation Specialists are the group that can help you out. There are a lot of reasons why the foundation can have problems here in Alabama. It's soil shifting, uneven ground, moisture, weather, even the age of your home. So if you're noticing standing water around the foundation or in the basement, gaps between crown molding, baseboards, and or around doors and windows, also concrete sinking or even uneven driveways or walkways, Canty Foundation Specialists offer free inspections and estimates so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house, and their work is backed by lifetime transferable warranties. Call them today at 205-509-3991 or visit them online at Canfixit. That's Cantey, canfixit.com.
All right, when we come back, a little bit more on some of those things we've discussed today already in college football next right here on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. You can always listen online, jocksfm.com. The app is in your app store, iPhone, Android. You can download that for free. Listen that way. Watch live on YouTube every day. Just search Jocks945. YouTube is there. You can put it on in the house, in the office, in the lobby. Set that thing up, and then we'll get going and get you right for college football season each and every day. You can tweet in at Mac and Cube, and a couple of questions coming in, G-Mac, that I wanted to get to. Jolly, a good question here. I like this. What metric makes a good run team? Bama has generated over 100 yards last few weeks. Should anything a yard or two either side of the line of scrimmage be considered a run? Like G-Mac said, bubble screen, shovel pass.
Yeah.
Or is it who can run inside? What is the metric?
That's the
First
problem.
off, this sounds very PFF leaned.
Oh,
this
goodness
question.
gracious.
Let's
Here
calm
we
down.
freaking go. Piff it up. Let's hear it.
I was hoping to, but we don't have it.
He's looking for it. Here's what I'll say about
Okay, hold on a second.
about it.
Listen to this real quick.
Let's hear
Kirby Smart yesterday
Yeah.
was asked, do we have the question? Is in there? All right. Just Kirby Smart yesterday.
Yeah, when an opposing quarterback has a propensity to seemingly hold on to the football, how does that change how you plan to attack him on Saturday?
I don't understand the question.
Like when Jackson Arnold seems like he's a propensity to hold on to the football a little bit longer, does that change maybe how you guys might affect him and try and rush him?
I don't know. I think that may be a PFF stat or something. I don't know. I don't have any proof that what you're saying is true, so I don't want to make an answer to an assumption that you've made.
By the way, Kirby Smart is the most underrated media master in the SEC. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly how to do it, and is masterful at moving his questions and moving the goalposts of questions to give the answers that he wants to give. Like, that was beautifully answered there. And I think people are going to kind of laugh at it, and that's the main reason I wanted it. But it's also brilliant the way he handles it, because he knows exactly what the guy's saying, and he knows what the guy's saying is right. There are no metrics to technically back it up, so that's his out, to not have to answer the question and turn it into a compliment about opposing player, which I love.
But there are metrics to back it up.
Maybe technically.
How long
but,
you have
Yeah,
that you
a
hold the
PFF
ball
one,
is
right,
an
yeah.
actual
They
metric.
but I think Kirby Smart could then turn that around and say, well, yeah, quarterbacks sometimes in certain drops are asked to hold the ball longer. He's getting through his progression. So therefore, I think that's a compliment to the kid. Like, he could turn it around that way.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. What the question is about a guy who's been able to let go of the football on a regular basis. And we all know that that's real and it's true. He sees it just like we see it, but he found an out not to answer it and then turn it into a compliment about the opposing player, which is what I imagine he does to his team a lot with guys that they're playing against. And they probably see somebody that looks, like they're going to be able to have their way with them, and he can find a way to turn it into a strength for them and then motivate his team. So I thought it was brilliant the way that he answered it, but also, just along with what you were saying here, this could be very PFF-ish.
Very PFF-ish. Maximum PFF-ish.
Well, for me, to answer Jolly's question, I think the thing that I would try to look for, and maybe you or PFF can find this, maybe telemetry has this, maybe StatMaster, maybe
just tell me
whatever.
what you need.
I would say, what are you running against? Because there are some teams that can run against 4 the same way they can run against 6.
Yeah.
And can run against 5 the same way they can run against 8, or in similar fashions at least. It's one of the things that I said it yesterday that I took away from Georgia's defense against Kentucky. There were multiple runs that Kentucky executed actually really well.
Sure.
But when they executed them, there were 5 players in the box.
Yeah.
When the running back got to the line of scrimmage, there were 7 or 8 defenders in the box.
Right.
Those guys were not accounted for, therefore not blocked, therefore making play. So if you can go against 4 or 8 in a similar fashion, that would be one thing that I would look at as a metric, Greg, of a successful run team.
Fair.
Because a lot of teams could run against 4 or 5, specifically with what we just talked about, that mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Because now we got big number advantage on you.
Well, I don't disagree with any of that. I think a big part of this that makes it somewhat challenging in assessing run game and things like that, like, it's not necessarily always about numbers. Like, an example this weekend, when you watch back the Bama Vandy game, like, Vandy was actively talking Ty Simpson out of calling a run play just by aligning in a bare front with 3 guys over the guard, center, and guard. And then he would make the check, and then all of a sudden Vandy would shift out of it, and now all of a sudden you're throwing it into an offense or a group that is designed to throw it, a defense that's designed to throw it so you can hand it off. So, like, it's not always necessarily about numbers. In quarterback run game, it is. Quarterback run game, you got the +1 runs where the quarterback can run it. You have to have 6 in the box. Why? At least with the safety and a free hitter over the top. Why? Because with the running back and 5 offensive linemen on the low side, if you have a tight end, that adds 1. If you add another running back, it adds 1. Like all the different variations. Like in +1 run game, you have to have extra hats. But in traditional hand it, call it, and run it, sometimes a front or an alignment can talk you out of something.
Absolutely.
Which is, I think, a little bit tougher. So that's why quarterback run game is the ultimate neutralizer. I don't love it because I don't think it's good for your quarterback long term accuracy wise to run it as much as guys are being asked to run it. But I do think that there's an avenue there when assessing to kind of take a peek at, man, you know what? Look at this. This front numbers wise might look good. It might only have 5 in the box, but with this front, I can't run it even with my 5 blockers. You know what I mean?
Well, and the first thing that I thought of when Jolly asked the question, which I think it's a great question, was yards before contact. But then I even began to talk myself out of that one.
Yeah.
Because that can be extremely clouded based on read plays, based on different ways to get the ball to the perimeter. I mean, you run a jet sweep and the guy gains 4 yards before he's hit, but it's over there on the perimeter out of bounds, and it was on 3rd and 11. That's a stat that's not necessarily telltale of what you are as a rushing football team. So it's hard to put exact numbers on it. I think there are numbers that can guide us in the right direction and maybe help build our argument, but I don't think that there are going to be 2 or 3 that look at it and say, yes, that right there is definitively that team.
Right.
Just because, as you mentioned, there's so many different ways to manipulate things and do things that in certain situations are not end all be all. And like you just said earlier, when we talked about other teams, strength of schedule, who have you done it against? That in and of itself can be very difficult to make things to diagnose. So it's tough. It depends. It's very dependent on a lot of things. So I don't know where I would go and say, yes, definitively that metric, that number, that stat tells me that's a good rushing football team. I don't know if there is 1, 2, or 3. It's a little bit collective, and it changes. It's dependent, to be honest with you, on what teams are and who they've done it against and how they do it.
Totally fair. How do you feel about the assessments on just offensive line play in general being back up this year?
Absolutely not.
People are thinking it's actually trending in the right direction.
Let me talk to them. Let me holler at them for a minute.
Just saying.
Can I get them in front of some tape?
I wouldn't.
Could we do that?
Maybe it's PFF. I don't know who's saying it.
Yeah, but you watch it. You see it.
I don't feel like it's terrible.
You probably know O-line play better than any non-offensive lineman out there. You tell me who has impressed you so far.
Offensive line-wise?
Correct.
Miami's
there. Now, this conversation is going to be very similar to the college football conversation right now.
Okay.
There are a few at the top, very good, and then it falls fast. So go ahead.
I like Ohio State.
I love Ohio State.
That's your
left tackle, by the way. Sign me. Actually, both tackles. Right tackle, super. Both tackles, violent. I'll take them every day.
I'm pulling up the rankings right now because I want to go off the ones that I've watched.
You're pulling up the what?
The AP rankings, so I can ask you about teams that are at the top.
I was like, AP ranks offensive lines now?
That would be sweet.
Get me in on that.
I like A&M.
I need to hear that lady from earlier in the year defending why she has her offensive lines ranked 1 through 5.
I like A&M.
I'm coming around.
I like Indiana.
Good.
Very good.
Yep.
If Michigan were at 100%, I would kind of like them a little bit, but they're not there.
They are baby crawling towards being good.
In time. I like Cincinnati.
Solid. But
I like Cincinnati's offense.
All that, I was going to say, all that help that we were just referencing a little bit earlier, they benefit greatly from
They
that.
do. I like their offense. I like Utah. Got pushed around a little bit, though, against
maybe not living up to
against
expectations
Texas
for me.
Tech. Yep. Yeah. Totally fair there. I like USC.
They're going backwards.
Fair enough. I don't care. I like them at one point. Let's see what they do this weekend when they beat Michigan.
Oh, boy.
Book it. I like Oregon.
I'm fine with Oregon,
But I'm still
It's
a
great.
little bit. We'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're. I think they're better at tackle this year collectively than they were last year.
I think the right tackle's a problem. So I disagree with you. I think left tackle's stud.
See, I think right tackle plays his rear end off. I like that.
I'm not
kid.
saying he doesn't play hard.
I wouldn't say liability. That's that. I think
Not
I could
liability,
show
but
you some liabilities.
I'm not maybe
specifically
not
in the SEC at tackle.
Maybe not liability, but I guess when you look at the left tackle and he's that good, and I look at the right tackle, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it's fair.
So not. I mean, that's probably harsh, but
I think there's about 4 or 5 really good groups right now.
There's more than that.
Miami's in there. You mentioned Ohio State. They would
Vandy.
definitely be in there. Vandy's group is interesting. They are. I'll say this: they were a big part of our conversation Sunday night, and deservedly so.
Can I give you another one?
Sure.
Washington.
Yeah,
You hadn't watched them. Just admit it.
I've watched some.
Just
of
admit
them.
you hadn't watched them.
I've watched some. Yeah. All right, Rich, hold on through the break. 800-239-9569. You guys want to get in. We'll continue this conversation and a couple others. First, I'll tell you about your CBD store. If you're looking to lose a little bit of weight, your CBD store has answers for that problem. The Trim by SunMed in stock now at your CBD store, the largest brick and mortar CBD retailer in the world. Do you have a pet that's struggling to get around in your house? Maybe getting up and down the stairs, laying down, sitting up's an issue. They have arthritis products for your pets at your CBD store. And for you, by the way, also anxiety, gut health, skincare, all available at your CBD store. First company to have USDA certified organic oil supplements. So go check out one of their 3 locations today. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver, Trustful just off 459. Your CBD store where good health hits home. Speaking of offensive line play, offensive line play for a team in this state making some news. We'll discuss that next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We mentioned an offensive line concern for a school here in state, a tackle concern for a school here in state. We'll hit that one in just a moment. First, I want to tell you about our friends at Train. You may be running the AC during the day, or if you're like my wife, you're still running the AC at night. And I walk into a home that was like 51 last night.
Heck yeah.
Stress on your home comfort system is why you need a Train. They've been named America's most trusted brand 11 consecutive years. So you know you can count on the reliability of a Train to keep your home and family comfortable for years to come. Find out more at train.com. It's hard to stop a Train. 737 right here on Jocks. Listen online, jocksfm.com. The app is in your app store. You can download it there. Watch us live on YouTube. Hugh Freeze meeting the media yesterday in preparation for Georgia, discussing an issue for one of his starting tackles.
Done some testing on his hearing, and there's an issue there, and that goes back to us. Should have handled the cadence stuff differently for him, but he really struggles to hear in those environments, and we'll make adjustments for that. When he's on time off the ball and stuff, he's pretty dang good, and nobody hurts more than him. He was really distraught. I just, again, wish that we would have put him in a better position.
He's referencing Xavier Chaplin there, Greg, and that the reason for some of the false starts on the road has been because he has a bit of a hearing issue or has an issue hearing. And then that would go to snap count, which most of the times nowadays is going to be on the clap. I mean, for us, it was always just silent on the road. I mean, that's what it had to be.
Yeah.
We obviously didn't implement the clap, so everyone will tell you the clap is audibly louder than any other noise you can create. So therefore, it works on the road, and that's why people do it. At least that was Lane Kiffin's definition for me.
Makes sense.
I'll trust him. I feel like he has an idea of how it works. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm confused at how to handle this and manage this and discuss this because I have certain knowledge of parts of the situation, and I don't think it's fair for me to share them right now. So, but I will say this about Hugh Freeze. Greg has stated this one in other areas before. There's a lot of it that's low-hanging fruit. Right now, I personally think that this is Hugh Freeze taking a pretty big bullet for one of his players. That's where I am on this. I feel like this situation could have been discussed in a very different way, and it is not. And the description and the way that Hugh Freeze just laid that out, I personally believe did not have to be done that way. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, G-Mac. I don't know if you have anything to add, but it's easy to roll it into a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with a lot of those things. What's Auburn's record?
Auburn's 3-2.
3-2? That means you've played 5 games, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The only thing
there was a player in the SEC a couple years ago that bounced around to a lot of programs.
Yeah.
That had a real issue physically.
Yep.
And his issue physically was one of the reasons he bounced around to a lot of programs. And his camp did not make certain people aware of said issue until he had been at a program for a year or so.
Yeah.
That's not the team's fault. You can't just guess at diagnosis. Diagnosi. You can't just get, what are you just going around and guessing that people have things wrong with them? You can't do that.
No.
So sometimes, as you heard Freeze say there, it's on us. We need to be better. We need to do better. I don't say this often about him. I don't. I believe that's Hugh Freeze stepping out and taking one for the team right there. And I don't mean, there's no pun intended on that one.
I think you're right.
So
don't know for sure. Just so that everyone knows the circumstances. So far this year, Xavier Chaplin's been flagged for a false start penalty 6 times, including 5 in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, those 2 road trips at Oklahoma, at A&M, 5 in those 2 games. Won against Baylor on the road. Here's the problem. The snap count for Auburn is always the clap, home or away. And there are no issues at home. So while I understand it's louder on the road, it's more challenging on the road, I don't know the circumstances of that. But to me, the clap is the clap is the clap. So the fact that there's 0, and there were very few at Baylor makes me think, all right, maybe there's more to it. No idea. But I do know this. Alabama struggled on the road for a long time, no? Like penalties, pre-snap penalties, didn't play very well offensively. O-line didn't get off. Guess what they did? They went to the silent count. They just went to silent count against Georgia, and it worked beautifully. Just go back. It's not broken.
But would you not agree with me now that's your only option?
Now that you've made this public, yeah. You go on the clap, and all of a sudden it's working? Like, what is that? I mean.
Well, no, but if you can't hear the clap, you can't go on the clap anymore.
Guess what? If you can't hear the clap, you can't go on the clap at home either.
And if what Lane Kiffin said is accurate, there is no snap count that you can now have. It has to be silent count.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that part of where you're going is something that Freeze sort of that's a cat he let out of the bag unintentionally.
Yeah.
Because once again, I do think that he's intending to defend his player here, and I give him a lot of credit for that. Not a lot of coaches do that. And he has thrown many a player under the bus. We cannot deny that. So I give him credit for what he's doing. But there are some very fishy elements to this entire thing on both sides. That's also fair to say. Rich in Albertville wants to chime in. Welcome in, Rich. You're on the Higginbotham hotline.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Doing
What's
great.
happening?
Thank you.
Hey, I would agree that I'm not played football to y'all's level, so I don't know what y'all know from a schematic standpoint at all. So, but I have seen a lot of podcasts where Reese Dismuses has come on, and he said, I don't understand why they're not going to side count either. He said they're constantly getting it wrong. Slide protection doesn't work, this, that, and the other. Like I said, I don't know football like y'all do, right? So I'm just going on based on what I heard. But it makes sense when I've heard y'all say it. I've heard them say it. I've heard Aaron Murray on the film breakdown say it. Going to 50 play. You know, it just doesn't make sense. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just kind of fed up with excuses, honestly. I mean, how many years have we heard, well, oh, shucks, we should have run the ball more, or, well, shucks, we're going to do a better job of coaching them up more, or I guess we're going to have to scale back the playbook because, you know, they're just not catching on as quick as we thought they would, or, oh, shucks. I mean, it gets old, man. I mean, you haven't won 5 SEC. You haven't beaten but 5 SEC schools since you've been there. 5. And you got the number 8 NIL payroll in the league, and there's teams below you that have a better record overall with paying less out. You got no more excuses, bro. It's time to do something or go.
Where did you get that information on the payroll?
It was on some website. They show a breakdown of every team in the SEC.
Well, they're higher than that.
Just don't believe everything you read.
I'm sure
just so you know,
Auburn
is behind the Texas schools. Auburn is right up there.
So how much more of an indictment is that on them then?
It's not, because you have new pieces, new faces, and I'm not suggesting the last person to make excuses on behalf of Auburn's program is me. I can assure you. But here's what I would tell you. Is that you lost to 2 teams that are currently ranked in the top 6 in the country.
I would agree with that.
In one possession on the road. So, like,
I'd agree with that.
I'm not, like I said, humility is 1 week away. So is possibility for atonement. And this weekend is a massive opportunity.
There's no Auburn fan that believes that Auburn's going to beat Georgia, Missouri. I mean, let's be real. We had a possibility to beat Oklahoma and Texas. And we still did not believe we were going to win that game because the way the offense called, and he's brought in to change all that, and he hasn't.
Who's better in your opinion?
What do you mean?
A&M and Oklahoma, or Georgia and Missouri?
I would say Missouri. They're probably on the same plane as Georgia.
Do you think those 2 are better than A&M and Oklahoma?
I think they are.
See, like, I would respectfully disagree with you at this point. Like, I think A&M and Oklahoma are very, very good. And he played on the road, and that's tough. But guess what? The key for Auburn from the get-go this year is to win your home games. That's the key.
Oh, you're right.
To me, at 3-2 right now, it's exactly where I thought Auburn was going to be going into the bye week. Exactly where I thought. I thought optimistic view would be 4-1. That was highly optimistic. Pessimistic view is 2-3. So frankly, like, they're right where I thought they'd be. Now
I think everybody thought that. But at the same time, when you had the possibility to win and you choked, you had the ball in the last 5 minutes of both games and you did nothing. That's the issue. You got the possibility to win. You got the ball there in the last 5 minutes and you choke on it. And it's every year for an Auburn fan. Every year for an Auburn fan is the same thing.
I don't know what to tell you, because to me, you win this game this weekend. What's this conversation like next week?
We're not. We haven't won since
You can't say that.
If you do,
nobody thought his Ole Miss teams were going to get Bama. Nobody thought there's a lot of games. Nobody thought Florida was going to beat Texas. Well, some people alluded to it, but
he's not showed us that he can beat any top 5 program or any powerhouse since he's been there. So what gives me as an Auburn fan faith that he can do it?
I understand the doubt based on performance. That is not arguable, and that is not something that you can say there's no defense to that. However, there is also the standpoint of you can't just say a team cannot beat another team. Now, if we're talking about Kent State, then yes, we can have that conversation. There are many teams that they cannot defeat.
Don't sleep on the flashes.
I'm good. I feel confident in my statements here.
Hater.
But there's a path for Auburn to win this game. I think a lot of it is on defense.
Until the end of the game, but I just, there's nobody since Gus with that one pass is the only reason we beat Georgia, and we've not beat them since.
Well, Georgia's been pretty good since. So
hang on, didn't you beat Georgia in 2017? Yes.
I'm sorry.
You beat Georgia by a couple touchdowns in 2017.
Okay, and we come close when they had Brock Bowers, but we didn't because Brock Bowers was a beast.
Also lost to him in 17.
Yeah.
For another day.
So, but anyways,
I don't know. I think you're entirely too pessimistic 5 games into the season. You're exactly where we thought you'd be. Now you got to take care of business at home. That's the realities. And while I'd be disappointed in the offense's performance up to this point, I would be too. I don't blame you at all. Doesn't mean that after a bye week you can't maybe figure things out. Like, I think the bye week can be remarkably valuable. So I'm not throwing in the towel yet. Cole, are you?
Not quite yet. There are certain aspects that maybe I would. But this deserves more conversation. We'll do it on the other side. Before we get to the other side, I want to add some value for you here on Jocks. I'll introduce you to our friend and wealth advisor, Tad Hill, your trusted retirement planning partner. Tad is the co-host of the Retire with Freedom radio and TV shows in Birmingham and Huntsville. Also designated by Forbes as the #1 financial securities professional in the state of Alabama, multiple years running. Tad, what do you have for us today?
Topic that we've discussed before, but it's a pretty constant issue, and that is market volatility. And definitely the markets have been topsy-turvy for months in a row now. And if you're already retired or you're within 5 years of it, there's a thing called sequence of returns risk. And I can't go through all the math here. I can do that in our course or in a visit. But the bottom line is, if you get poor returns early in your retirement, then you are at a much higher risk of running out of money. And our Retire with Freedom process is designed to help you build a plan to insulate you from that. We can help you. I would really encourage you to come to one of our courses or come in for a visit. And the way to do that is to text JOCKS at 205-988-0006. That's 205-988-0006. Text JOCKS, 205-988-0006.
This is a paid placement. Investment advisory services are made available through AE Wealth Management. For more information about Forbes rankings, visit Forbes.com.
This report
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Thanks for tuning in. Watch live on YouTube. Search Jocks945. You can tune in every day. Get that thing set up and fire it up at the office, in the lobby of your office, at the house, whatever it is, and you can watch. And then go watch it back, too, if you missed it. Because what else would you rather do than look at Greg and I's faces for 3 hours every day? I'll wait. I didn't think so. Tell our
Face for
listeners.
radio, voice for print.
Yep. In garages made by ProLift.
ProLift, they're not a brand. They are a service company that will take care of whatever.
Like I said,
garage.
installed by ProLift.
Yes, there you go. They are a service company that will take care of whatever you got going on with your garage. It's amazing. They're also in Baldwin County. They're also here locally. You know that. No service call fees. You only pay for the work, not the visit. They service all brands of garage doors, so you can upgrade the appearance of your home. A brand new garage door. You can get a garage door opener repair, replacement, installation. If you hear unusual noises, slow response times, vibration, shaking, call for a maintenance service. Go to the website to figure out the right number for you by going to proliftdoors.com. That's proliftdoors.com. Like I said, here locally in the Birmingham area, also down in Baldwin County, it's proliftdoors.com. ProLift Garage Doors, lifting your expectations.
All right, let's go back to the Higginbotham hotline. Robert in Prattville would like to chime in. Welcome in, Robert.
Hey, good morning. How are you gentlemen doing?
Doing well. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem at all. I just wanted to say, Hugh is not a dumb man. I think it's fair to say that. He's in a position at a big university to where he's able to, compete with other coaches like him. So if he's given away that the clap is his go signal, wouldn't it be fair that he's probably already got that in line to change for someone that's hearing impaired?
Well, all the teams are going on the clap that are in gun all the time. So there's still ways to circumvent it. And if you watch guys, you'll see the fake clap orchestrated, and then you can go on the second clap. So I don't think by telling someone that your snap count is on the clap that you're really giving anything away, because everybody's doing that.
Okay. And then second, I hate to sound pessimistic as well, but it's more than just 5 games or 5 games into the system. This is 4 or 5 years now. And in the history of what we've done at Auburn, I don't see us winning but 2 more games. And, well, Alabama could be a toss-up, but beating Mercer maybe? I
like your chances against Mercer. Tough offense, but I like
Not
your
anymore.
chances.
It's not the same guy. But we were referencing this as it pertains to Xavier Chaplin's hearing as far as the games this year, not the entire tenure. Back with more next.